How's it going?
Hello, Jerry.
What have you been up to?
Freezing my ass off.
Yeah, it's wintertime, I guess. But yeah, I hear you.
6 degrees.
Wow, that is cold. Wow.
Plus wind
6
chill.
or -6?
6 degrees plus wind chill. So about -16 or 20.
Wow, that's cold.
Yeah.
It makes your skin hurt.
How you doing, Amber?
Good. How you doing, Jason?
Doing real good.
Glad to hear it. Hi, Portia.
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking last week. Last week I was so dead to the world. I zoomed in at 7 and what the heck? I missed it by an hour. I was dead on at 7 too, but I was out.
Didn't I do Tuesday last week too?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Yeah, Tuesday, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I just get out of it and I work a lot. So
You got your days mixed
7
up,
o'clock
buddy. You got your days
I
mixed
did. I'm here now.
So remember, it ends in Y.
I'm here now.
It ends in Y.
All right, we still love you.
Mhm. Did we stall or he just walked away?
I walked away. Hold on.
Okay. Didn't know if everything froze, literally.
No.
Are your new friends going to be on, Amber?
Oh, I don't know. I just figured, you know what? Every week I'll try to send it to a bunch more people and just see. And I was kind of just instead
Even
of
if you send the replay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send the replay
No, that
too.
exactly. I just was like, I just hit like A in the phone and went through all my A's and then B and then just trying to see like who was speaking to me that might want to join. So we'll see.
Oh, yo,
Good idea.
What's that?
New alphabet song?
Yeah.
You hear that song? A, B, C, D, E, F, U, and your job, and you. Okay, anyway.
No.
Yeah, so I actually had two topics I was gonna do tonight on. I was going back and forth between which one it was gonna be, and then let's just double check here. I'll tell you. Hold on, give me 1 second. So today, yeah, so 3 hours and 13 minutes. Amber and I were on the phone, and it changed my mind of what I was going to talk about. So I just realized that I thought it was a long time, but I'm just looking at the call log. It was 2 hours.
That is a long time with your sister, Michael.
Yeah, it was 46 minutes.
Just kidding, Amber.
46 minutes initially. We got pretty much a lot out. And then I was sitting here trying to take a test. She called me back and it was 2 hours and 33 more minutes. We didn't quite get it all out, but
So it's good.
anyway, it inspired a different conversation. So I'm gonna keep the other one for another time. But real quick, I want to get you up to speed with. I scheduled today Tuesday instead of Monday because last night Zoe had a mandatory Zoe family team leader group. And it was really just to update us on the whole last year's season, what the church has done, what Connect has done. I'll just share a quick couple of ththings before we get started with you that I thought was pretty impressive for Zoe. One was currently now 86% or 88% of all attending people to Zoe now is all online. So, however you see that transition, they did close some of the places a little bit over there for a few months, but they're back open in $1 million theaters. Even to this day, 88% of all people are going. There was something like a 32% jump in brand new attendees to Zoe Church last year. We have currently in our 3rd season, going into our 4th season of Connect Group, I think we started with 21 or 23 connect groups to start, like low 20s. Now there's 67.
Wow.
Cool.
And we're trying to get more people signed up for season 4, which starts on February 6th. So we get back to going. But I want to encourage anybody in this group, anybody's listening to this after, anybody you think would be good for it, even if they've never been in our group. Remember, this group just started based off of what I needed to share and wanted to share. As far as Zoe goes, I just picked the discussion of the message. But if you go on the page, you'll see that the connect groups vary anywhere from sports talk to her group to couples groups to men only to senior citizens to retired. They're all over the map. Some have nothing to do with the message or the church message itself. It's just based around faith in Zoe Church and the people, right? It's connecting groups to talk about things. So to give a good example, it's more like this week. It's real, raw, and flawed, right? This is just a connect group based on what I want to talk about that's going on in the world or with me or with us collectively. But if there's something that interests you, think about it, keep it on your heart. It could be anything you want to talk about. It could be your profession. It can be something you've been through, you want to help others. It could be just for women. It could be for couples, relationships, your job, sports, mechanics, whatever is your thing. You can start a group. You can sign up online. It's easy. And it's just about you getting people to join the group like we did here, so obviously, being a part of the group, I think there's value in them. But like I said, I chose to do the Zoe ones based off the message because me personally brought me closer to just strengthening my faith because I feel like I'm a little behind in that area. So anyway, it's something to think about. The new season starts February 6th. You could pick any day of the week, any time. And then also we're trying to encourage people to join the actual team. So the thing I was on last night, we're trying to grow that slowly too and organically and get the right people in place on that team internally. So these are just leaders within the church that commit the time, right? Commit time to lean in and help whatever needs help or help with the group. Portia's been to a lot of these groups in the YouTube for the live chat Sundays. So like being a part of that and leading in that and reaching out to people and sharing things like that. So that leadership group is looking to grow too for this new season. So that's another thing to think about. But man, I thought after the meeting was over, I had a lot of hope in, I kept thinking over and over, and then I wrote in the live chat of the meeting last night, it said, as bad as COVID presented itself to us in all sorts of ways in everybody's life, all the things we went over last night, and he was just listing off, these accomplishments and people and stepping up. And it was like, holy cow, like what a actual blessing COVID really was. And not in the sense of what it's done to an economy or lives or lost ones or, separates us from the people we can see in hospitals or across country or traveling or our jobs. Not in that sense, but in the bigger picture of things, it's one of those things where you don't see the benefit until later. We talked about this, I think last week or the week before. You don't always see the benefit like losing somebody or like death until you see it, right? In the moment, it seems overwhelming and consuming and just uncontrollable, and I can't do anything about it. And I feel like it's happening to me, and it's big feelings. And often we don't see the benefit of things in life, most things, until we get past or we've gone through a stage of it passing. And listening to some of the growth stories last night and what this small group has done, they're still a small church. I thought to myself, how many other great organizations are there that were doing the same thing, trying to push through this thing, trying to get more connected with people. This connector thing was such a small idea in the church a while back. It was such a small idea. It was like an alternative idea to in-person church. In-person church was most important. It was connecting with people one-on-one, face-to-face, after church was over, talking to people, feeling them touch, like in the presence. And that was the most important in the church. And then the Connect group was like, well, we have a lot of people that travel. We have a lot of people that aren't always in town. We have a lot of people that we know through families that live in other states. They want to be involved in our church.
Right.
And then COVID changed the whole game up. It's like nobody could move. We were sitting in our chairs like we are now. We didn't have the choice to pick in person or online. There's nothing going on. So what a freaking blessing, you know, what are we, a year and plus months, 18 months or something into this thing? I don't even call it COVID anymore. It's this thing. It's this ongoing thing that hasn't quite been understood yet. But holy shit, we got a lot of greatness has come out of this. Like a lot of, I think, greatness that will sustain many years to come. And we'll see way down the road and go, man, remember 20 years ago, COVID changed our lives. And some of us are going to tell sad stories, but I think if we're looking at the bright side of things, the forced change things, we're going to tell a lot of good stories. So last night was about that. I was super proud to be a part of that. I was super proud to have been a small part of any growth or any change or any hope in that, because it helped me for the past year. I can tell you that. So I think, wow, what a blessing fast forward that this past year has been in so many ways, if we just look at it that way. So amazing things. Shout out to them. I'm so proud of what they're doing and what we're going to do moving forward. There's a lot of exciting things coming up. I think, I don't know if Portia, if you've ever been, have you become to one of the rallies before that? You've been to a rally before, right?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to send you, I'll send it to all you, but I'll send you the link. It's a pre-thing we do as a leadership group before church starts every Sunday. And we all get on and it's like getting in a huddle before the football game. We're like, and the hands are in the middle, everybody's pumping up. It's like, let's go, ready for the message, boom. And then we turn the thing on, Chad comes on, and everybody that's in that group is in the group cheering everybody else on that joins, 300 plus people. So that's pretty exciting, but they do one online with us, but they also do one in person at the $1 Million Theater separately. They do them like 50 minutes apart from each other, and then church starts. This season, they're going to try to merge those online and in person all together. So it's just fire. Like it's just fired up. Everybody getting jacked up before the game. Let's go win. 1, 2, 3 JC, all this crap. So it's going to be pretty amazing for that to merge, and the energy I think is going to be freaking off the charts. So that's pretty exciting. And they're opening more. They're getting closer to opening more sessions within the church now. They're in our theater. And hey, quiet down, dude.
Can't help it. I got COVID.
Jeez.
Not really.
That's not funny.
No, it's not really.
Be careful what you tell yourself, Jason.
Yeah,
Well,
you're right.
There's so
Very
many
right.
strands. Who knows what you got, dude? Who knows?
I ain't gonna go get tested, so
You ever seen the movie Mummy?
I don't think so.
That he breathes the disease into their mouth and then it's gone. Give it to somebody else and walk away.
It ain't COVID now. It's named something else, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't keep track.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, so just keep it down. So anyway, yeah, that's all the exciting thing about Zoe. Let's get back to what we do every week. So back to what I was saying, conversation. I had a couple of different things. I was going back and forth writing notes, and then we had this 3-hour some conversation, my sister and I, about a multitude of things. But what really came up was a couple of things about we talked a lot about what my realization of my year off and away from the work life, the business life, me trying to push as hard as I could. I've pretty much taken this year off and done nothing as it relates to what I used to do. I've done a lot, but I've done nothing as it relates to what I used to do. And just kind of listened and kind of try to understand my place in the world. Was that my place, what I did? Because I did a lot and I was proud of it, but was that really what I was supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be doing something else? Kind of navigating through that space. And then today, I've been going through and opening my heart up to a little bit of more opportunity that I've put out. I had a friend of mine that's like this headhunter type dude that he's had my resume for a year, and I said to kind of lay it out there, but I'm not going to be taking any calls or anything. Just, let me know what's out there, what's coming, or and I've kind of ignored it for a year. And just recently, this past 2 weeks, I've picked up some calls. I've took some Zoom calls, and I'm going through some practices to see, what it is, and try to see if I even care, and see if what matters to me anymore. But two interesting things I want to bring up that I shared with my sister today, and we talked about, was a phenomenal human being, I think, in my art, is Jay Shetty. You might have all heard of him. I know, Portia, you know who I'm talking about. Amber, I think you heard him, but he's one of the most profound speakers, I think, in this generation. Not like he's any better than anybody else, but the way he presents the information and where it comes from and how he presents it, you could tell it's so freaking authentic. It's unreal. It's like watching elevated being speak. It's different. He's the guy that wrote Live Like a Monk. He went to be a monk and did all that, and he talks about live like a monk. You don't have to be one, but use some of the principles. But he talked about this thing that really, it's just stuck to me like glue for a while now. In one of his talks or his interviews, something about, what our time value is. What is time, and what is our value in that time? Today we look at this information, like how it relates to our jobs. It's like 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. How much do I get paid an hour? All the questions are based off of this structure that's already in place, right? The government says you have to work X amount of hours to qualify for insurance, to qualify for 401k, all the way down the line. So we just think, okay, well, it's an hourly rate that I'm worth. And what he talked about was, is an hour any good if you're not 100% giving your energy to it? What is that hour actually worth? If you request time from me and you want to talk to me on the phone, or Megan says, oh, do you want to go out to lunch? Or Amber's like, hey, do you have time? I need to talk to you, which she does a lot to me. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm good at it. Sometimes I ignore her while I'm sitting in front of her, and she'll just keep getting at me until she gets my attention. But I said to her today, I said, because you do that, wouldn't you rather have 10 minutes of my 100% energy than an hour of me distracted? Right? And I think we're all guilty of this, especially the phone thing, right? Like, how many times you can go to a restaurant now, go to a bar with your friends, look at your own friend group and count the time they're on the fucking phone, and you are too. You spend 2 hours together. How many minutes were you guys talking to, engaged to each other?
Yeah.
It's a tough one, because today is different, and it's not anybody's fault. It's just it is kind of where the tension is moving. But it begs the question of, what is our time worth today? How do you calculate what you're worth? You apply for this job, which I've been doing these things, and, well, what am I worth? Well, I knew what I was worth in my company, because I already did that math. I did all those numbers. I knew what my time was. It was $200 an hour, and I didn't do anything for less than that. But what did that really mean? Because if I broke it down on all the things I did for my company all the time, including being at home, picking up phone calls, emails at night, in the morning, on my travels, trying to go on vacation, but really working the whole time. If I divide that up, I make less than I would make at KFC. You know what I mean? And I'd have way more freedom if I worked at KFC. I have X amount of days off guaranteed. When the clock hit 5, I'm freaking out of there. There's no a phone call catches me up for 2 more hours. Done. Structures, lines out. So what is our time worth? And then, looking at that time, again, is it that hour you're going to give to someone or your career or a person or relationship? Is that hour 100% of you? He talks about 60 seconds of 100% energy has massive fold than an hour of distracted time, with your spouse. Right. So it's not like you have to change your whole world and be like, okay, everything's an hour. So, okay, I have to keep off my phone for an hour, pay attention to you. No, justify your new time block. Hour doesn't have to be your time block. It can be 60 seconds. Because believe me, the person sitting across from you, Amber will relate. If I look her right in the eye for 60 seconds, I give her undivided attention, all my energy, she would know the fucking difference when we're done. And she wouldn't feel like, "Oh, it was only 60 seconds though." No, because the way we talk, yeah, we spent 3 hours on the phone today, but our 3 hours is catching up on a week. You know what I mean? Like, we have each other's attention and we realize it in the moment. So we just stay on the phone. And then she called me back and we stay on the phone again. Like, she called me back because she knew she had my attention, and vice versa. So recognizing the time of one, what can you give 100% to? When can you do it? You know, build that calendar out so that you can, whatever you really love or doing, or passionate about your job or a project you're doing or an idea that's coming up. We always talk about, if you don't put action behind the idea, it's just an idea. And it passes. And everybody, all the 7.5 billion people on this planet have ideas. You aren't special. Special people act on it. They act on ideas and they put actionables in place. They don't just think about it. They act on it after that. And maybe you weren't first. And maybe shit, it's already out. Somebody already has it. Okay. That's great. Next idea, because we have them all the time, all of us. We're all little geniuses. It's just what stops us is what is the action behind it. So brings me to my next point, which is the title of the picture I sent out. You know, my superpower being misunderstood. This is something I like literally been fighting my entire life. Like, I just can't understand why people can't understand. You know, like when I learn something and I go out and spend the time and I educate myself on it, and then I explain it so clearly. Why don't you understand? Like my whole entire career is about that. And it didn't make me a great boss. It didn't make me a great leader in my own company, because what I did is spend a lot of time trying to make them understand, instead of just spending more of that time on me continuing to grow and modeling what I was trying to explain to them, so they can just watch it, be inspired by it, and freaking do it. And if they're not inspired, next in line, I'll hire somebody else. But instead, I always around on it. I'd turn around and I'd look back at them and be like, okay, guys, come on. All right, here, let me explain it again. Obviously, you don't understand. And it made me feel misunderstood. Like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I mean, seriously, what's going on here? And I started to like first blame me, then I was blaming them. Like, am I hiring stupid people? Am I stupid? Like, what's going on here? But it is literally this, it's feeling of misunderstood. But, you know, fast forward to today and going through this process and the conversation, talking out loud, it was, that's not an issue at all. Like, it's a superpower. Being misunderstood is everything. Like, if you're misunderstood, it only gives you an opportunity to, one, if you want to share anything that you own, be better at communication. Just lean into it. Or maybe you're great at communication now and you're still being misunderstood. It's like the whole, we talked about before, the president thing. Only 51% of everybody is going to vote for one guy. You're not going to win the whole crowd. So if 49% of the people don't understand you and find you misunderstood, it's like, you can't even dwell on it. You can't be a part of that, because you got to keep moving towards the goal, which is, one, learn as much as possible, be a part of this community and this life as much as possible, be a citizen of this world, a society, giving back whatever you can, and literally be as good at communicating as possible. I think the only thing that we can all be better at every day is practicing better communication with ourselves. Obviously, that's a tough one. I think that's probably the toughest one. We lie to ourselves all the time. We're the only witness to our own life. We're the only ones that see everything that we've never told anybody. And that's a harsh pill to swallow, because it's like, you get to see all the shit that you lie about in life and you can't avoid seeing it. So you got to deal with your own self every day and have many judgments and have conversations with yourself. So I think that's the toughest one, but man, if you had a really good communication with yourself, you'd be really good. You know? And then to the ones closest to us. Like I was telling Amber today, like I think the impact of what we do sometimes gets, or the impact we want gets stalled out or gets stunted by our own egos, fears, judgments, internal talk, what ifs, what if nots, all these things. And we don't really consider what we always share with each other and we push each other to do is we don't consider all the time that it's not really about what we're going to feel like, but it is about who can feel better if they hear one word of our mouth. If we share one thought, we share one story, we share one idea, we post this to one person we never have. So like, can you think about, say all these videos, Amber asked me today how many we have. It's a year's worth of weeks, right? So 60, 52, 60 of over a year we've been doing it. Plus the podcast, I have over 120 of those. Like I started today, because we're talking about something else, but I started today looking at things like as the people that don't have it instead of an object. It's not a video recorder that's sitting there. It's a potential person that didn't see it is more important, right? It's like, how many people don't have their hands on it? It's just not something I'm trying to give to one person. It's like, or it's sitting in this library on YouTube. I look at it as how many people could be a part of this group? How many people could join us? How many people could listen to it in their own time? Can it change anything? Can it help somebody? My friend that I lost, I told Amber today, the only thing I regretted was she really wanted Amber's book because she was going through some shit and there's a lot of similarities in Amber's life and this girl's life. And when I brought it up to her, she was super excited to get it. Amber wrote a long note in the front of the book, really personalized message. And Amber doesn't know this woman, but they connected on the same exact reason why Amber wrote that book. So that anybody can read it and feel inclusive and understand that they're not alone. They're not by themselves in a thought or an idea or a world or a life. And I dropped the ball. I was supposed to send it Thursday and I didn't send it until the following Monday. And by the time it got to her house, she'd already died. So it's not a guilt I'm feeling of like responsibility. It's more like if that would have if she got the book and read it and felt any peace in her heart any minutes longer, that's why we do these things, right? That's our responsibility to show up. That's my responsibility not to skip a week here. That's my responsibility. If I can't do it, the one time I skipped, I said I'd never do it again. Then I was like, wait, why didn't I just reschedule it? Why the hell did I skip a whole week? Like, I didn't even think of that. I was so committed to Monday and letting down Monday. I was like, there's 6 other freaking days in the week.
Possibility.
Right.
Possibility.
So our responsibility to what we do, right? And I think to speak more on the superpower is, what is your superpower? Think about it. You can say it out loud if you know it, but if you thought about what your superpower is, we think about them as we always get asked, like, well, if you had a superpower, what would it be? Like, oh, invisibility, like laser eyes, yeah. No. I'm talking like realistic, what you do day to day superpowers, not in the movies. And that's why I say being misunderstood is a good one for me. It's like, I don't mind that anymore. I feel good about it because it makes me feel personally that I'm growing and doing things at my speed. Like, I like to move fast and learn more and keep pushing the limits and go. So it makes me understand if I feel misunderstood in a crowd, that it's okay, one, and also maybe that's not my crowd too, or I have to be a better communicator within my crowd so they start to understand me a little bit. But at the end of all of it, it's not my responsibility. It's just some people will and some people won't.
And just to speak to that point real quick, the acceptance piece, I've seen a lot of shift in for years, like from the talk show generation through now, it's been, you know, communication. First, it was nobody talked to anybody, right? In the 50s, 40s, 30s, and, you know, seen, not heard and whatnot. And so it was emphasis for the last 50 years on communicate, 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 communicate. That's the big thing. That's how we connect, right? And just recently in the last, you know, couple of years, I'm seeing more of a shift in, it doesn't matter how much you communicate if there's no comprehension of what is being said. If someone cannot understand, you could communicate all day and all night long. I could talk. If you cannot understand what I'm saying, I might as well be speaking in Chinese. So the point in which we can either know our audience and or let go and accept that if they can't understand me or they're not speaking my language, that's okay too. Because that's just not the time, that's not where they're at, you know, as far as, you know, the journeys or whatnot.
Yeah, I think we touched on one of the conversations was with your boxers, right? Like, it started with when I first started the Zoe Connect group. I shared this with most of you, but when I first started, I do tend to swear a lot when I'm like getting into something. And
Passionately.
yeah. I'm never swearing at anybody in the way of like, you know, F off or like go after yourself. Like I don't do that. I don't find myself, even if I'm in a fight with somebody, I don't even use that language. I'm like, when I'm gonna get about to get in a battle, or I think there's a fight gonna break out, you wouldn't even recognize me. I'm one of the kindest talkers you ever met because I'm diffusing everything,
Yeah.
even if I'm threatened. But it's just something it's when I'm passionate about something, I get into it. I use profanity for descriptors, and the church isn't really cool with that. And I'm one of the few people that record these and post them in my YouTube channel and let them out there. A lot of the other Connect groups, some of them meet in person, some do Zoom, but they don't record them, and there's never they're that day and they're gone. So they were watching them, and you know, I got a call from the pastor, and he was like, "Oh, I love you. You're doing a phenomenal job." Like he always starts with all the best things about me and builds me up to hit me with, you know, you got to cut the shit, and without saying shit because he doesn't swear. So, and it happened once, and I was like, I don't even, no problem. I wasn't even aware of it until he made me aware, and then I was like, well, yeah, that's how I talk. Okay, I got it. Be more conscious. And then it happened again, and it happened one more time.
Eh,
But I was telling Amber today, if I was being critical of myself and I compared myself to everybody in this group that I've met in the past 3 years, being a part of this church, when I go there in person in LA, when I'm with Chad or his wife and his family, like I always feel like the outsider in a good way. I feel like I'm breaking ground in a good way because one, I always admit to them and myself and everybody that I'm very far behind in like the scriptures and the readings and just church in general, comparison to a lot of the group I hang out with there and know and become friends with because they're immersed in the church and they're every day and group leaderships and youth leaderships, and that is their everyday life. And but when
You know what, Michael?
yeah, go ahead. Oh, now you're not coughing.
Let's go,
You
Jason.
know what?
Sound like the Matrix.
Of course, you cut out when you try to talk. I mean,
Oh, loud.
did you,
Now you're
did you
talking.
plan that?
All right. Well, he's
Oh, you're slacking.
Well, he's reconnecting.
I don't know what's wrong there.
You
You're
hear
in
me?
the you're
You
in the
got bad
matrix.
reception.
you're like, ooh.
Bruh.
Matrix.
Oh,
Luke,
watch
I
it.
am your father.
I'm out in the motor home.
Oh, excuses.
Hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. If we care about each other, we overlook stuff. That's just me. And you help each other. And just like my neighbor, he has a drinking problem, and I overlook it, but I try and help him. But
Right.
the funny thing is, God works in mysterious ways, because when I bought my little motorcycle the other day, a monkey, I sent it to him, I sent it to our pastor, and I sent it to my neighbor.
You
And
sent it to
guess
me
what?
too.
He's not. What's that?
Sent it to me too.
Oh, I sent it to
Yeah.
you too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That was a mistake, Portia. Okay. No, just kidding.
Well,
It probably was.
you know, I ain't that smart on it. But anyway, Nat, is I sent it to all these guys and Portia, and he took the group message. He thought he was just texting me. He took the group message
Uh-oh.
and yeah, he took the group message and talking and hey Jason, I need you and all this or whatever. And he goes, hey, I'm in California in my truck and on and Shasta and all
Oh no, we were
this
getting to the good part.
for talking. I said, cool. He didn't know he was on this group mess. Okay. And the group text, I sent it to our pastor, and our pastor was just talking to, and John didn't realize he was on the group text, and he thought just me and him were talking. And the other day, John, so this was just the start of God's work. And John texted me the other morning I shouldn't say name, but anyway, he texted me the other morning at 6 o'clock. Hey, Jason, he's my neighbor or whatever. And he's a good guy, and he's there for me and I'm there for him. He texted me in the 6 o'clock in the morning. Hey, meet me up here at this certain point on the property. I said, oh, okay. And so I went up there and he goes, man, Jason, I got a drinking problem, and on and on. And he didn't know that he put it in the group text again. He thought he was texting me. My pastor was on it, and he was on it, and all of us were on it, and he didn't know it. So pastor knew that I was going up to talk to him. And then we went to town, and our pastor was just opening the gate because he needed help right then. And he's a truck driver too and everything. And he just wanted to try and clear up his life. And so we went to town. Our pastor was opening the gate, and he started talking to our pastor because I didn't know what to do. And so he started talking to our pastor, and our pastor goes, you know what, John, I was talking to you. I was on the group text in California, and I was on the group text this morning, and I knew that you needed help. And John goes, huh? I didn't know that I was sending it to all you guys, so it was just, then our pastor had a message related to that same thing. So it all works in mysterious ways. There's a process.
Yeah, I love that. I like how you started that. I like.
Luke, I am your father. Hey,
I like that.
It doesn't
I
matter.
like that.
That's a good story.
that was an awesome story, and you're exactly right. And that's how the connections work, just like us meeting each other. Does
Yep.
anyone, I've been wanting to say since the meeting started, does anyone see the green orb that is floating all around Jason tonight from beginning till end here? Right now, it's not there. Oh, there it is.
It's the Matrix.
It's his mom. There's a green orb. That's how mom visits me oftentimes on the lake, and your mom's with you, Jason. I just want you to know tonight you've had this green orb around you since the beginning of the meeting, and so she must be right there with you. And she probably likes the RV because your dad's always in it. So
Honestly, I think you're probably right, Amber, because I look at that picture every day in my bedroom, and I still can't believe I've never seen a miracle like that in my life. You've seen it, that angel. And
Yeah.
you're right there. I believe it.
so anywho, okay.
That's
Love
amazing.
it.
I like that what you said. I mean, when you care about people, you overlook.
Yep,
the
I
things
do.
That don't matter, and that's an important message. I think that's.
And that's
I
a
do.
comprehension. That is a comprehension thing too, because like if you're not willing to overlook it in certain people, it's because you're not connecting on an understanding level. But when you do overlook something that you wouldn't normally tolerate or accept in another person, then there's a level of understanding that's deeper than just the regular, which I love that.
Yeah, the intention is huge. Like
Yep.
Portia said, when I said I swear a lot, she's like, well, it's because you're passionate, right?
Right.
Obviously, the people around me understand what
That's why I joined this group. I was like, oh, it's speaking my languages.
Right. And Chad knows that I
Like-
do more for the group and the church than I would do any damage by swearing because I'm passionate.
Right, right.
He
Of
just,
right.
course.
he just like, yo, because I've played golf with him and I don't shut up. When I play golf, I talk so much shit to joke. And he is not an exception. If he plays golf with me, he's getting owned. So he
Right.
understands how I am personally with him too. And then I'm not different as a person. But all he was doing is protecting the church's
Yeah,
community, right? Like some people, and Amber today was the same way. Like, listen, we were talking about like inviting some people from
And I don't
the
judge.
boxing
I
group on,
swear
like,
all the
come
time.
on. Why don't you have the people from the boxing group or their supporters come on our thing? And right initially, and I know she didn't even say it, mean it like that, but initially, because she works there, we're just like, I mean, your language sometimes. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? My language. Like, who are you talking about?
And
Like,
was
you're
and,
the-
and
you're
I
the
was
biggest potty
Listen,
mouth. Me and you are the
I have to-
biggest potty
I
mouth
have
I
to-
know.
yeah, and I
Here's
have to
the
do
thing.
the same thing at work all day. Like, believe me, I don't. I'm the same. You and
you're
I are
horrible.
the same.
You're horrible.
Yeah.
I-
But if that particular sect of people who is more like our mom's age and like the baby boomers who are a little more conservative church going, not that they, believe me, I push the gamut with them all the time, but there are certain things that I wouldn't want them to, because they don't know yet and they don't have the trust to be familiar, wouldn't want to turn them away from something that is so good for them because of something so simple as, F word. But I believe me, I'm a work in practice constantly. I wasn't adjusting you at all.
No,
I
I,
would-
I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was a funny observation because it's the
Yeah.
same observation a lot of people get when they feel uncomfortable about something else.
Sure.
Nobody feels uncomfortable about me.
Yeah,
No.
They
Right.
understand what I'm doing and how I'm saying it, where I'm coming from. It is.
and I think like you could just tell them there might be some swearing. It might be like,
Like-
they're not like virgins, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
know.
What are you talking about? Virgins don't swear?
I don't know.
Any of those two things are coincide.
I'm just saying, like they've lived life. They live life. Like, they've heard of
Yeah.
F-bomb here or there.
Yeah. So, I mean,
But if you really wanted them to come, we could just tell them what to expect. And it's all done from love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and look, whoever's selling it makes a big difference. If Amber's selling it to her clients and she spent much time, with them, they already know what's coming.
Right.
If
right.
Portrait sells it to the people around her and like, look, this guy's a little aggressive, he swears a lot, but they trust you as a
Right.
sale.
Right. Like
Sales
they-
is about
Right.
the person selling it, not the product you're selling. I've
Yeah.
sold
gotta have a
everything
sense of
under the sun.
humor too, right?
Yeah, it's all intention. So I think it goes to the superpower. Like, what is your superpower in life? Like, what is your, and we don't have to
Enough.
do it now, but I want you guys to think about this because this NFT space and the world that's happening, I don't know if at all you know what that is, but in the blockchain of Bitcoin and stuff, it's non-fungible token, valuable things, digital values. Anyway, skip all that because there's a lot, but Gary Vee did a very interesting thing when he launched some of his digital stuff. He just scribbled art on a piece of paper. He's terrible at art, but he has these principles he goes by, like empathy and caring and understanding, like all his principles that he has in his company that he uses with deals and his employees and everything. Over 600 employees in New York and thousands across the nation. He implores these virtues within the company that are not normal to business owners or the business world. And he turned them into like these sellable NFTs where they're valuable, like empathy elephant. And he draws this, scribbles this elephant and it's empathy elephant. And that's this like hero within itself. Forget it being NFT, but my point is, if you had to think, I did this exercise with somebody the other day. I said, answer every question I give you with a picture. I'm going to text you a question, answer it back, no words with a picture. And I said, what if you were a cartoon character?
How
Send
do
that
you
picture.
Me, I like this game.
Right. But play with
Right?
something.
Me too.
What
So
the hell?
what if you were a cartoon character? Make them send you back a picture. What if you were an object? Make them send you back a picture. What if what if you were an animal? What if you were a car? What if you were a drink? What if
This
you
is a fun game.
Yeah, and have them send back the picture. And then before you ask me more questions, look through the pictures, see if you can get an idea of why they posted that picture to you, and then ask them why they did without saying anything. Why are you a Black Panther? Why did you send me back Black Panther? I'm trying to think like all the reasons, like I know this person, let me think. Why would they be a Black Panther? I go through my reasons, I write it down, and then I ask them, why are you a Black Panther? What makes you think you're a Black Panther? And it's just fun because it's a different way of trying to understand somebody from a different aspect. We use words always, right?
Right.
What if I could just show you? Because now you're telling me what you believe you are. Because I could say, like, what are you as a drink? I'm like, oh, my favorite drink's tequila. But like if I showed you the visual of like a tequila cocktail on next to the ocean with a straw and straw, it brings you an emotion to it.
Right.
It tries to tell a different story and you try to guess the story. You know, and
Like you're enrolling them in your vision too.
yeah. So play the game. Play the game with somebody close to you. I did 8 questions. I did place, animal, cartoon character, drink, car. If you were
I
a
have a
house.
question. What
Yeah.
animal were you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I picked this when I was 3, cheetah. I've always been a cheetah.
But I'm 30.
I was 3 years old. I saw a cheetah one time in a
It's
picture
stuck.
that was in the middle of running fast. It was a still
Yeah.
picture, but it was in the middle of running top speed. I was fucking enamored by it, and I drew
Yeah.
pictures of it. 100 cheetah.
Okay.
It can reach land speed up to 65 miles an hour.
That's
It's insane.
a fantastic game. I like it.
So anyway, your superpowers. I want to do 2 things. One, play that game with anybody. You don't have to share it. It's just fucking fun. It's absolutely the funnest thing. I did it with a couple close people. I'm like, what? Like I've known you forever. Like what?
What is that?
I mean, like what in the hell is that? Or are you honestly think you're that? But like it's fun to play around. But it's fun to like have somebody respond in confidence through a picture in a different way. You know, it's a disarming way to ask somebody the truth about them. And then when you ask them why, then they're like, oh, well, I don't know. I just like it. No. Why do you?
Yeah, you need a why
an elephant.
behind it.
Yeah, why do you think you're a freaking elephant? Like, come on, bring it. Let's go.
Or-
Spray water. You like showers? What? Peanuts?
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, like Gary Vee does, let's try to, and we could do this in the group message. We don't have to wait till next week. You can just type it in there if you figure it out. What superpower do you have? And if you want to even go one step further, name yourself. You know, I said like empathy elephant. Maybe it's the animal you are, and then a superpower you have. Let's come up with some funny shit. Right? Well, I'm a cheetah, so now I gotta just find out am I the misunderstood cheetah? Am I the misunderstood cheetah? Because I just run so fucking fast, people don't get it.
Okay, though, right?
Why is an
It
animal
takes-
so fast?
It takes nothing to follow the crowd. It takes everything to stand alone.
Exactly.
I was talking about this today with someone, and it's so much easier just to show up and do what everyone else is doing. And it takes courage, and it takes vulnerability, and it takes patience, and it takes acceptance, and it takes to show up and be who you truly are, and like to keep believing in the same thing that you believe in. And I was just thinking, like, why would you even want to follow the crowd, right? Like, even as hard as it is, because it's hard, and some days it's frustrating to be that person that you have to not follow the crowd, and you have these, you get so passionate about something, and you think, God, there's nobody else in the world that's thinking about this, whatever I'm thinking about. And really there probably are, there's thousands of people that are, but even if you never meet them, just like, I think we've always talked about this, like being true to who we are, because we know that that's who we are, right? And
Yeah.
if we're not, that's how we create the resistance in our lives, and that's how we push away what we're really meant to be here to do.
Yeah,
What's your animal, Portia?
What animal? Geez.
Oh, geez.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Megan, what's your animal?
I don't know.
Okay, think about it. I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Let's do, I'm gonna name some of the questions and just yell out some if you know off the top of your head. So a place,
Okay.
if you were a place, where would it be? A location in the world. If you
Bora
were,
Bora.
huh?
Bora Bora.
Okay. all
How
right.
specific of a place does it have to be? Is it like a beach or
It'd
does
be
it have
North
to be
America. It could be.
Moose
Wow.
Lake, Adirondacks.
Okay.
beach?
Jason, I know you got one. You've been all over. They know you got a place in your head.
The Ark, Jason.
Yeah, the Ark's cool.
Always telling me about the Ark.
The
Right.
Oh,
Ark.
I'm trying to think. I
What if you're anybody a cartoon character?
you put me on the spot, my mind goes blank. I've been to a lot of places. I have to say up there by Glacier in that area.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
If you were a vehicle, what would you be? If you were a cartoon character, what would you be? If you were a food, what would you eat and who would eat you? Like, would you be like what? Like, all these things explain so much more about us than we could in words.
I know, but I
Because
think I
there's
have to
so-
put in, I have to put some time in to think about them.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
that. Because look at
Send us the questions and we'll
Yeah.
all talk about it this week.
I'll pump them through the message right when you got the phone. And remember, this isn't a freaking like I do it like this. Because I want to have initial reaction to it because
Yeah.
then I want to look at it, a thing that already has a definition in this world.
Yeah.
And I go, oh shit, why would I even say that? Or why would they
Right.
do that? It's already got a definition of the meaning.
Yeah, there ain't
Something to it, right? So I'm gonna put them in there and try to get a little quicker. Don't study it, Portia, and don't get. I'm just.
I was only coming from the aspect of if you said it had to have a meaning to me. And so
I know.
I wanted it to have a meaning for me, my why behind it, right?
I know.
Lionheart, Care Bear. Yeah, no. it's
Care
just gonna be
Bears.
quick. Yeah.
Care Bears is an animal.
Well, no, it's
Yeah.
a cartoon.
A
That's the
liger.
cartoon.
A liger is an animal. Lion and a tiger breed.
Mm.
What about the dog from Neverending Story? The flying big.
Oh my
sheep.
God, the flying one though. Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything-
Felcor.
It could be literally anything real on this earth or physical or not or show. But let's have fun with it.
I
because
feel like
it'll be fun for
I
us.
was probably like ET in another life.
Nice.
Yeah, very misunderstood.
Just riding in the basket with a glowing finger. Bring me
Yeah.
home. Bring me home.
Holy
Yes,
shit.
I relate to him.
I get it. I relate to him too. Hide me in your house. Nobody's gonna understand. Hide me in the basement. They're coming for us. All right. Listen, I'm gonna send those over. Let's have fun with it. It'll be fun for us to all think deeper about the meanings of who we think we are without putting in words of, do you think we always talk about, it's hard to talk about ourselves, right? The hardest person to give compliments is ourselves. But if we attach it to something else, it's fun. It's like,
And can part of the rules be only pictures? Like, no, don't write.
yeah, I want you to don't answer.
Send the actual picture.
Yes.
Yes.
With the cheetah, I'm gonna send a picture of a cheetah. Like send the picture.
All right.
Megan, I'm gonna add you to this chats group thing, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, love you guys. I gotta roll. I'm gonna send you
Love
that.
ya.
Looking forward to laughing my ass off and can't breathe at your.
All right. Love you guys.
Good night.
Thank
See
you.